Farm Azula, a crumbling mausoleum, unmoored from time itself, suspended in the heart of a perpetual storm, and at its center, a monster. Maliketh, the Black Blade, a whirlwind of shadow and death. His very presence, a corrupting force that drains the life from your body. To every player who has braved that journey, he is the final, terrifying guardian, a beast to be put down. But this perception, this image of a furious, mindless monster, is a lie. Not a lie born of malice, but one of profound, soul-crushing tragedy. The lore of the lands between reveals that the creature we fight isn't the villain of this story. He's its greatest victim. Today, we deconstruct the beast to reveal the martyr within. We will prove that Maliketh was never the danger. He was the dam, holding back the apocalyptic flood of destined death. And in this fight, born of our own ambition, we are the ones who break him. To understand this tragedy, we must first understand the sacred and ultimately cursed Oath of the Shadow. Maliketh wasn't born a monster. He was consecrated as a protector. The remembrance of the Black Blade states it plainly. Maliketh was a shadowbound beast given to his Empyrean. This was a position of immense divine honor. Like Blade Tirani, Maliketh was chosen at birth, his very will irrevocably bound to his Empyrean, Queen Marika. He was her other self, her sworn guardian. And Marika, in her grand design for the Golden Order, gave him the most profound duty imaginable. She needed a guardian of absolute strength and incorruptible loyalty to safeguard the very concept of death itself. The remembrance reveals the cold, utilitarian truth of this choice. Marika's sole need of her shadow was a vessel to lock away destined death. For a time, the system worked. The gods were immortal, the Golden Order was absolute. But this vision of a deathless world was a defiance of nature, and defiance invites conspiracy. Rani's plot, the infamous Night of the Black Knives, shattered not only the Golden Order, but Maliketh's entire world. Rani's assassins murdered Godwyn the Golden, using daggers imbued with a stolen fragment of the very rune Maliketh had sworn his life to protect. His guardianship had failed. Death had been stolen from his sanctum, used to create the first Prince of Death, and birthing the horror of those who live in death. For a being whose entire identity was built on his sacred duty, this failure was absolute. The guilt consumed him, and in an act of desperate, eternal penance, he took a step so horrifying it's hard to comprehend. The description of his own blade tells the agonizing story. After a fragment of death was stolen on that fateful night, Maliketh bound the blade within his own flesh, such that none might ever rob death again. Consider the torment of this act. This wasn't a ritual of power. It was an act of profound self-mutilation, inflicted out of a desperate loyalty. A loyalty that, the remembrance suggests, was never truly returned. It ends with a single, chilling line. Even then, she betrayed him. The monstrous form we see, the bestial rage, the leaken black flame, it's not the malice of a villain. It is the agony of a jailer, betrayed by the queen he swore to serve, and now being slowly, eternally devoured from the inside by the divine prisoner he contains. He exiled himself to Farm Azula to carry out this solitary, maddening vigil for untold centuries. With this knowledge, the final confrontation shifts entirely. We arrive not as heroes, but as intruders. His opening words aren't a threat, but a statement of deep, resonant trauma. Thou, who approachest destined death, I will not have it stolen from me again. We are not fighting a monster. We are fighting a broken old soldier, driven to the brink of sanity by his thankless task. And in the second phase, when we push him so far that he must draw upon the power sealed within his flesh, his true nature is revealed. The beast falls away, and he stands as Maliketh, the Black Blade, not as a proud warrior, but as a being forced to unleash his greatest shame. His cry is one of pure agony. O death, become my blade once more. This isn't a cry of triumph. It is a plea of resignation. He's being forced to betray his own sacred oath. And the final devastating irony of this story is that we are the agents of his ultimate failure. When we deceive him, we do not slay a monster. We kill a martyr. We break the dam. By felling the Black Blade, we finish what Ronnie started. We unseal the rune of death, unleashing it back into the world and setting the stage for the Erdtree to burn. His centuries of suffering, his self-imposed torment, his endless vigil, our victory renders it all meaningless. His last words are not a curse, but a confused, heartbroken question, witless tarnished. Why covet destined death? To kill what? He cannot comprehend why anyone would desire the very burden that destroyed his life. And if you knew him as Garunk, his dying breath is even more tragic. A final apology to the queen who used and betrayed him. Forgive me, Marika. The Golden Order cannot be restored. He was never the villain. He was the last bastion of a broken promise. A loyal shadow whose greatest tragedy was that he was simply too faithful. Alright, that was a heavy one. Maliketh's story is genuinely one of my absolute favorites in all of Soulsborne. It's just this perfect storm of loyalty, tragedy, and cosmic horror. The idea that the fiercest enemy you face is actually the most loyal and heartbroken character in the entire game is just peak from software storytelling. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.